and that your teachers, because they went through universities primarily in schools, to reshape the minds of the young. But the teachers were closer to you generally in age and importance and knowledge, where old mum and dad didn't know much at all. They were old think. And in fact, in this particular school, that's where these terms came from that Orwell used. Good and ungood and terms like that. They used these terms amongst themselves. The Frankfurt School focused intently on technology and culture, indicating how technology was becoming both a major force of production and formative mode of social organization and control. Well, don't we know it today? Because with every invention that comes along, we're under more and more control. For every invention, in fact, remember one of the definitions of technology is to alter culture. That's one definition that has been given at a top science meeting. In a 1941 article, Some Social Implications of Modern Technology, Herbert Marcuse argued that technology in the contemporary era constitutes an entire mode of organizing and perpetuating or changing social relationships, a manifestation of prevalent thought and behavior patterns, an instrument for control and domination. So as we think we're getting freed up with all the gizmos and gadgets we're given to communicate, we're actually being enslaved and monitored and watched and patterned. You get your own pattern. Back with more after the following messages. Hi folks, I'm Alan Watt, and we're cutting through the matrix, going through an article from a university on this particular Frankfurt School. They sometimes call themselves the Dispossessed. As I say, some of them were actually recruited by MI5 and 6 during World War. They were actually called, MI6 was still the OSS at that time, but they recruited a lot of these guys. They were called the Dispossessed. And some of them couldn't get on with them at all because they were so rigid in their views of things, because they were technically and proudly, some of them, pure Trotskyite in their beliefs that they must always have continual conflict to speed up the process of evolution rather than that happen naturally, as they claimed. It says here, in the 1941 article, this is Some Social Implications of Modern Technology by Herbert Marcuse. He said, in the realm of culture, technology produced mass culture that habituated individuals to conform to the dominant patterns of thought and behavior, and thus provided powerful instruments for social control and domination. Victims of European fascism, the Frankfurt School experienced firsthand the ways that the Nazis used the instruments of mass culture to produce submission to fascist culture and society. Now, they also knew perfectly well the Sovietized system as well. They knew both these systems. While in exile in the United States, the members of the Frankfurt School came to believe that American popular culture was also highly ideological and worked to promote the interests of American capitalism. For it was directed, you see, in a planned culture. So if they promoted the interests of American capitalism, they could bring about this new blend, not quite Soviet, not quite capitalist. Remember, that was the aim of setting up the communist system in the first place. Lenin said that himself. Controlled by giant corporations, the culture industries were organized according to the strictures of mass production, churning out mass-produced products that generated a highly commercial system of culture, which in turn sold the values, lifestyles, and institutions of the American way of life. Remember what Skinner said? You alter behavior, you alter something in the environment of the subject. TVs, radios, and we've got so many gadgets today. You walk a lot, you see people on the streets yapping away into their cell phones, oblivious of real people around them. The work of the Frankfurt School provided what Paul Lazarsfeld, one of the originators of modern communication studies, and that's a very important area, modern communication studies. It's not just how they do it, how they communicate. It's did I should talk about the studies on people, called a critical approach, which he distinguished from the administrative research. The positions of Adorno, Lowenthal, and other members of the inner circle of the Institute for Social Research, very important institute, were contested by Walter Benjamin, an idiosyncratic theorist loosely affiliated with the Institute. Benjamin, writing in Paris during the 1930s, discerned progressive aspects in new technologies of cultural production, such as photography, film, and radio. This is called The Work of Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction. And I can hear the music coming in. This hour is sped by. So I'll be back with more from this particular topic tomorrow. So from Hamish and myself, Ontario, Canada, very cold, about 40 degrees below Fahrenheit, Ontario. It's good night to me, your God, or your gods go with you.